Whether a couple will eventually divorce is often set in motion from the very beginning of the relationship. Many relationships follow a predictable emotional pattern, almost like a pre-written script. Let me give you an example. There's a very common dynamic where one partner, often the wife, has deep emotional insecurity and seeks constant reassurance and love. The other partner, often the husband, craves a stable family and is willing to sacrifice and give endlessly to maintain harmony. During conflict, the husband suppresses his feelings and centers the wife's needs, providing constant care. This type of marriage typically moves through 4 stages. Stage 1. In the beginning, their interaction patterns are built around these needs. The wife unconsciously sends the message, "If you love me, you must make me feel safe by listening to me, prioritizing me, and tolerating my moods." The husband, seeing sacrifice as part of his identity, finds value in being needed. He fully adopts this dynamic and gives without boundaries. Over time, they create a pattern where the wife holds emotional power and the husband consistently gives in. Stage 2. As the wife becomes more used to this dynamic, she grows more certain her husband won't leave and becomes increasingly dependent on his reassurance. But with greater dependency comes greater fear of loss. She starts closely monitoring his behavior for any sign that his love is fading. If he seems less attentive or stops complying, she reacts emotionally, often with anger or control attempts, because she fears losing her emotional safety. The husband begins to feel trapped and burdened by these escalating demands and emotional outbursts. He accumulates resentment but continues to suppress it. Stage 3. Eventually, the husband reaches an emotional tipping point. He begins expressing his own needs, wanting love and validation in return. But because the wife is hyper-focused on maintaining her security, she perceives this shift as a threat. She fears he's withdrawing and responds with intensified attacks and controlling behavior. His needs go unmet, leaving him questioning the value of his sacrifices. He starts pulling back emotionally, wanting to be loved and supported himself. Stage 4. Now the husband begins actively seeking love and validation from his wife. But the wife, lacking the emotional capacity to give in this moment, perceives his requests as abandonment of her needs. She becomes angry, anxious, and helpless. Meanwhile, the husband realizes the love he craves isn't coming. Disappointment turns to despair, and he emotionally shuts down. The wife, sensing his emotional withdrawal and potential departure, panics but doesn't know how to repair the relationship. After a period of emotional tug-of-war, the couple typically ends in divorce. The truth is, neither partner fully understood how to love. The husband equated love with sacrifice, rarely expressed his own needs, and created an imbalanced dynamic where he became the caretaker. The wife focused solely on her own needs, believing love meant receiving constant reassurance. Neither could foster the mutual flow of love required for a healthy relationship. However, at every stage of this pattern, there are opportunities for change. The problem is, most couples remain trapped in their emotional scripts without awareness or the tools to rewrite them. If both partners can become aware of their own emotional needs and correct their patterns, if they can learn to meet each other's needs willingly and develop the ability to give and receive love, the trajectory of the relationship can change. Marriage requires conscious effort. The essence of building a strong marriage is understanding your relational patterns and stepping out of your subjective narratives. When you cultivate self-love, the ability to love others, and emotional resilience, you strengthen your capacity to build a lasting, fulfilling relationship.